Hey, what's up, guys? John and Joe, I Finance Mortgage. We're here at UWM headquarters right now. We're so excited. We're about ready to do a podcast with Anthony Frederick, Senior Vice President of Sales, UWM. It's going to be a blast.
We're super excited. Hopefully you enjoy this interview.
All right. Hey, we're so excited to be here with you, Anthony. Thank you so much for taking your time. We know you're super busy. And Joe and I, and on behalf of our whole shop, we're grateful to have you with us today.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Excited to be here with you guys and chop it up a little bit. And I'm honored. I'm honored.
Well, thank you. We have so many questions, but we have little time, and so we'll get right into it with you. And we, every day, like today, we're here enjoying the sales huddle. You come out on stage. We're like this, like little kids in a movie with popcorn. What's he gonna say today? And it was no exception.
Thank you.
We really enjoy the fire and the passion you come out with. I guess the question is, how do you maintain that? How do you come with this high level of enthusiasm every single day?
Great question. I a lot of coffee. No, but I just love being here. I love being a part of this team, and I in particular love Wednesdays. The opportunity to speak to 5,000 clients live streaming, another 1,000 in the crowd. But I will tell you, it's nerve wracking because you don't. My wife can tell you, if you ever meet my wife, Tuesday nights it's 2 to 3 hours. I'm going over my notes. I'm rehearsing. I'm asking her questions, and but as far as the energy, that's just kind of who I've always been, and it's kind of been my superpower. When I come in this office every day, whether I was an AE or whether in leadership, I think it's important to set the tone, and I think energy is just so vital to being successful, not just in business, but in life, right? And to think about what we get to do every day too, right? We get to help consumers, right? We get to help consumers with the biggest purchase of their life. We get to help them save money on a refinance or maybe lower their payments or pay off their debt. So when I think about what little part I play in this big thing, it's hard not to get excited. It's hard not to have energy. And then obviously on Wednesdays, the lights hit and you're on stage, and it's just a great place to be. But I appreciate the kind words on that. But yeah, the energy, positivity, motivation, just like I said, that's kind of one of my gifts to this team. And I'm
For sure.
love doing it.
Right. And Anthony, what advice would you give to all the loan officers out there right now? Because it is a challenging time, right? But you mentioned this morning that you guys funded 23,000 loans.
Yeah.
So there's business out there. People are closing loans. So what's the difference between the LOs that are originating loans and the ones that are just having pity parties?
I think, first of all, it's the attitude, right? I think if you want to find excuses as to why you're not doing as well as you should be or you could be, you'll find them. But what I'm starting to realize now in these kind of markets is it's as simple as putting in the work. You got to pick up the phone. You got to make the cold calls. You got to call the agents. You got to get in front of your past clients. You got to be on social media. You've got to do absolutely everything and anything you can to get in front of people, consumers, first-time home buyers, cash outs, all those kind of things, and the agents. And most people will do it, but they'll do it for a week or they'll do it for 2 weeks. And then it's like, oh, this isn't working. So it comes down to grinding in these kind of things. You kind of like a football game where maybe there's not a lot of points and it's just a defensive struggle. You've got to grind your way through it. Number one. Number two, I think you got to take risks, right? I think one of the things why we're still here as a company at UWM, we've always taken risks. We've always, never shied away from a fight or a battle, and thinking outside the box and doing things a little bit differently than maybe the industry does it. But if I were just speaking to originators out there, just pick up the phone and start dialing. It is that simple. And you're going to strike out a lot. And, if you hit 200, you're going to do pretty good, right? But I've yet to find anyone in America right now being successful that isn't working and making the calls, social media, emails, videos, whatever it takes just to get some activity. And then from there, just basic selling, right? And what's the value you provide? What's their issue? It's the sales cycle. It's pretty simple stuff. So that's what I'm seeing out there. People that are grinding, people that have a positive attitude. And then also as I talk to my team, knowing that, hey, we're about to go on a nice little run, a nice 7 to 8 year run. We just have to get there and we have to grind our way through there. We're almost there. It's almost like you're traveling cross country and you're almost at your destination, but you're not quite there. You can see it, you can smell it, but you're not there yet. And then you hit a little bit of traffic before you actually get to your hotel, right? I mean, everyone's been through that, so I think that's kind of where we're in town. There's some traffic, but I can see my hotel room. I can see my balcony. I can see the sunset. I can see sunshine. I can see rainbows, and we're just right there. So just remember that if you're struggling to get through it and you're thinking about giving up, like we're that close. We're that close.
We're 3 feet from gold.
There you go, 3 feet from gold. I'm gonna steal that for next week. Crazy story. So my college roommate, way back in the day, before we even had wholesale, we had retail. It was called Shore Mortgage. My college roommate was a courier, and he graduated and got a type job, mechanical engineer or something like that. And he's like, "Hey, do you want my courier job? They're hiring. I can put a good word in for you. It's pretty cool. You drive around all day. No one knows where you're at for like 8 hours. It's awesome, right?"
Ideal.
So, and I had 1 year left at Wayne State University, a local Division II school here in Detroit. And I'm like, okay, I'll take it. So I did that for a year, and then I graduated with a marketing degree. And then they just so happened to be creating a marketing team. Hey, you got a marketing degree? You want to be in it? I'm like, okay. When do I interview? Like, no interview. Just show up here Monday, put on a shirt and tie. So I did that for about 6 or 7 years, and it was old school marketing, postcards and mailers, and some billboard design, radio ad copy, things like that. And then one day Matt tapped me on the shoulder and was like, "Hey, love your personality, love your work ethic. I want you to be an AE." Now I don't know if that's because I was terrible at marketing, or he really saw something in me that like I can make this. Because I'd never sold anything in my life. I've never yet to this day ever wrote a loan, never sold a suit, a car, none of it. Right? And he's like, "I'll teach you all that." And the company I work for is pretty cool. Like the first 12 months, they paid me my marketing salary. Why? That's just the kind of people that I work for. He didn't tell me it was going to take 3 years to figure it out. And he didn't have to tell me that my wife was going to have to work 3 jobs and we'd have to share a car and we'd have to borrow money and, jumping in the couch cushions, like most people starting off in sales. But so that's how I got into sales. And then, I've been in sales for the last 17 years, I think the last 3 of which as the senior vice president. But literally a courier job in the mailroom to now I'm in Monday meetings with senior leader. It's like a dream, and like I said, some days I just wonder how lucky I am. And listen, I work my tail off and I care and all those kind of things, but it's like, this can't be real. Like I'm just waiting for my wife to wake me up and say, "Hey, I need the car," or something, right?
Right.
So, yeah, but that's how I got into it.
Wow, that was about 25 years ago?
Yeah, the 25-year anniversary I just had this July.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
That's
just enough to not get fired for
Right.
25 years.
I think you got some more years on you from that.
I hope I got 12,
Protection.
and then like I said, hopefully, I got to do a good job and continue to do what I do and help lead this team. And but they make me look so good every single day that it makes me look like I know what I'm doing, which is kind of cool. And I think that's the key to leadership is that I got great team around me of VPs and DLs, and like I said, I'm the luckiest guy in America because every single day I get to come and work with this team.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's super awesome. And how do you go from account executive to
To leadership?
SVP? Yes.
It's very difficult because the other challenge, as with account executives and any sales job, whether you're an LO or an AE, like getting it off the ground, right? Like it took me 3 years to make pay my bills, let alone get to a point where, I'm making some decent money and, the fruits of my labor were starting to pay off. So, fast forward 9-10 years as an AE, and they had asked me 3 or 4 times, "You should be a division leader, you're a born leader." And I'm like, "I'm good. Like, do you know how hard I worked to get to this point?" And business is never on autopilot, but I had the same 7 or 8 accounts for 8 years, great relationships, steady flow of income, no matter, and I was in Florida, and I was 80% purchase. So if rates went up, it didn't impact me like it did everyone else. Rates went down, it was like cherries on top with some refis. So it was very difficult for me to leave all that I'd worked so hard to build to go take a leadership role. Because as you know, players make more than coaches, right? In any industry, in any sport, and the top performing players, make. So from a financial standpoint, it was difficult. From a relationship standpoint, these people became my friends, as you guys know, and just you work with someone that long, and you're in the wars and the battles together. It's tough. So, true story. We were at a minor league baseball game, Jimmy John's Field. I think we own the league or whatever. And my wife was there. All my leaders above me were there. They may have given me a few too many beers, and then they were just like leaning on me the whole night, leaning on my wife. And I just said, "You know what? Fine, I'll do it." And not knowing that would parlay into a vice president role and then the SVP role, none of which was like, mind you, all I was trying to do was make enough money to go on a couple of vacations and have a decent life. My dad was a Detroit cop. My mom cleaned houses. We weren't poor by any means, but it wasn't like I had this incredible upbringing of, gold, everything. It was, pretty blue collar, right? And so for me, it was never about like I have this career path. It was just, I love being a part of this team. This is where the next step took me, and this is where it took me. And then, COVID happened, and, some opportunities presented themselves for me to kind of step up and shine. And now, like I said, I'm the luckiest guy in the world, help lead a team of over 500 account executives, and like I said, just blessed. But
that's amazing.
Yeah, crazy.
Yesterday, I think after your leadership meeting there,
Yeah.
I was coming out of one of our classes, and I saw you walking through, the AEs out there, and I saw you stop. You said something to say, and when you're out there and you're mixing and mingling in there, what are you saying to them? You must know them personally, each one.
Yeah, and everyone's different, and yeah, there's 500, and I'm trying to do a better job of getting to know each and every one of the 500 on a personal level. But it could be as simple as how's your day. One thing that we're big on here is recognition, and the top players always get the recognition. So what I try and do every morning is locate maybe some guys and gals that are newer, or some guys and gals that I know that have been through some adversity and they're starting to rebound, and maybe they lost a big account. And I try to say, hey, great job on the submissions yesterday. I really appreciate your effort yesterday. Anyone I can help you with, anyone to make calls. So it could be a number of things. Hey, why are you on your cell phone when you should be making dials, right? Like I've got a floor to run too. So it's like it could be one of anything. But my favorite place in the entire world is on the floor. I hate being in meetings. I love the Wednesday sales huddle. Don't get me wrong. I love being on stage. I think it's fun. But my gift to this world is on that floor, in the trenches with my troops, shoulder to shoulder, fighting the battles. I'm trying to motivate, sometimes I got to be a motivator. Sometimes I got to keep people calm. They're starting to feel a little bit too good about themselves. Sometimes I got to talk people off the ledge because, especially the last couple of years, like, hey, what happened I was so good in 2020 and 2021. And then, not to beat a dead horse, but then the last couple of years have been a challenge. And I think a lot of, not just AEs, but a lot of people in this industry haven't been through the ups and downs like a lot of the OGs have, and so I know because I've sat in that seat, and I think empathy is one of my great qualities as well. Just because there's not a feeling, whether it be a top producer, whether it be somebody that lost a big account, whether that's somebody that's just starting, that they're going through that I haven't went through myself in my 25 years. So I try to relate to them and let them know it's going to be okay. And also sometimes you got to remind people you're really good at what you do, right? I think sometimes. Confidence is our ultimate weapon in sales. And if you lose a big account or your numbers aren't where you want to be or where they used to be, it is real easy to get lost inside your own head. So a lot of times it's just maybe I need to be a psychiatrist and say, do I need to remind you you're a former champion or you're one of the best producers and look at the business you've built and the life that you've built. Like sometimes that's all it takes to get someone a little bit ignited. So that's what I try to do on the floor. Sorry for the long answers. That's just how we talk.
That's amazing. And, you mentioned, it's no secret the last couple of years have just been, challenging.
Yeah.
And, I guess the question we'd like to ask too is how has UWM met that challenge? What has UWM been doing to get ready for what's coming?
So a couple of things on that. I think, being purchase heavy, even, in the hottest refi market in history, we were still running 60% purchase. So of course we felt the market. We're not immune to it, but we didn't feel it as bad as our competitors or some other people in the industry. So a life lesson for anyone that's, watching or listening or whatever, like purchase business is always king, always focus on purchase business. That's also, a gateway to future refinances. So I think us being positioned as a purchase lender, the top purchase lender in America for I think the last 8 years, helped us, it wasn't as bad a blow. And then it was on us, all right, well, how do we get more products, right? So you guys may have noticed we've added some, non-QM stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think more offerings kind of help offset some of the business we may have lost because of the market and the rates. And then how do we make things easier? How do we make it faster? How do we continue to focus on technology? And even something as little as that, hey, on ease, it may have taken you 8 clicks to get through a screen. We got people working on that right now saying, how do we get that to 5 or how do we get that to 4? And then for us as a team, it was really, okay, we were forced to focus on selling skills, right? I think for everyone in this industry for a couple of years, people always say loans were falling from the sky. Like we didn't have to work our butts off to earn a loan. We had to work our butts off managing a pipeline, getting these things to the table, capacity, all the things, and just being crazy, right? But so for me, it was quite refreshing because we kind of got, I wouldn't say lazy, but we just didn't have to focus on it. So I think the last couple of years, and I can say confidently today, we are better at pure selling than we were a couple of years ago, even though we may not have the business we had a couple of years ago. So a couple of things like that, and then we're always looking for the future, like not what's going to be important in 6 months, what's going to be important in 2 years, right? And whether it be the portal and the API and the sharing of the information, whether it be knowing that, hey, we're going to get crazy again, capacity is going to be an issue. Let's see if we can help with processor assist, right, and PA plus. So I think it's adding some things like that. But like I said, for me personally, it was a great opportunity for us to sharpen our skills and really figure out who can sell, who's good at managing accounts, and who's good at getting loans through the pipeline versus who's good at just taking orders, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. Also wanted to, some people thought you guys are crazy hiring people during this time. 500 a week, a month, whatever. It's what's with that? That's nuts.
Yeah, well, that is the way, of course, in my career, especially since Matt joined the team. We've always been overstaffed by design. That's why we're always been the fastest lender in America, and that is kind of our signature hole. If we were a golf course, it would be our speed, right? That is what people used to use this in the beginning, was for the speed. It's still important now. I know Matt talked about it in the meeting, but I think it's important for us. We don't hire when we get busy, right? If you got the most popular restaurant in town, and now your service is starting to lag, and now it's taking 3 hours to eat dinner, and your food's cold, and it's too late, right? So we try to be proactive and say, hey, we know at some point here in 2024, we're probably going to double our business. We're not going to wait until we double our business to address it. We've always addressed it. So that's why we always try to hire in advance of 6 months in advance. Then it also gives time to train. And then it also gives them reps, because training is one thing, and we've got an incredible training team here, whether it be from operations, whether it be sales. But as you guys know, the best training is the real deal, right? In the fire and getting loans and making a couple of mistakes. So we try to get all that out of the way prior to, oh my God, we're getting bombarded with loans. Now I'm hiring people. Now I'm rushing them through training. Now they're not getting any reps where we can actually coach in the moment because everyone's so busy. So that's always been our philosophy. And people say you're crazy. Well, yeah, Matt is crazy, right? Thank God, because I don't know if we'd be here with you guys. I don't know if we'd be number one lender overall in America. I don't know if the broker channel would have grown the way it's grown the last 5-6 years. So yeah, that's kind of been our philosophy, and it's worked for as long as Matt's been here, and I think we'll keep doing it.
That's amazing. And Anthony, let's take it back to the beginning, right?
Yeah.
To where you first started. Matt said he was one of the first 12.
Yeah.
You guys started behind a store. What was the vision? What was the conversation at that time when you guys only have a few people?
What the hell are we doing? What was cool, because when he started, I was in marketing. So he was in Chicago. He was an outside AE, and he was just like any other team member. And the other cool thing about Matt was he spent 30 days in every single team in this company. So with underwriting, with setup, with sales, with secondary marketing, with IT, with the facilities people, with the receptionists. He wanted to be in the weeds that much. So just to tell you a little bit about Matt, if you ever wonder, he's just an incredible human being. But that's something that I don't think gets talked about enough, just how in the weeds he was from day one. But back to the question, when he started and he was in Chicago and I was in marketing, we didn't have GPS, right? So we had MapQuest. You remember MapQuest?
Oh, yeah.
So he'd call me, hey man, it'd be like 5:55. And mind you, I'm a 25-year-old punk kid, just graduated. I wanted to leave at 6 o'clock. Now I got the founder's kid calling me at 5:55, asking for 3 more offices and if I could map them out. So I knew then that he was wired a little bit differently. And this guy was a go-getter and he was a worker. But I'll never forget, we were number 270 out of 273 lenders. So I don't remember the year because they all start to run together. And I remember him in a sales huddle like the ones we have here, but obviously smaller and no cameras and everything else. And he's like, next year we're going to be in the top 100.
Wow.
And I'm just like, this guy's crazy, right? Like we're 270 out of 273. The only thing we do are manual FHA underwrites down to 500. And I'll be damned if the next year we weren't number 96. And then the next year he said we're going to be top 25. And I'll be damned if we were number 18. And then the next year it was top 10. So every time he kind of like mentioned this and it kept happening, then it was like, all right, like wherever this guy takes this place, I'm going. I'm all in. I'm going to follow this guy through the gates of hell because I don't know what he's drinking. I don't know what he's eating. I don't know if he just speaks it into existence or he just, it was just incredible. So I think that mindset early on that like, hey, we're just not happy to be a lender and be a wholesale. We're going to do big things here, right? And we look at things a little bit differently. We look at you guys as family. We're 100% wholesale, all in. You're our only child, is what I say. We're going to spoil you. We're going to love you. We're going to give you everything we got, but it's all on you. They've got multiple children there. Brokers have never been their favorite child, even though they show up on their birthdays and give you fancy toys and horses and that, and then they go to their favorite kid, which is retail. So for me, that was sweet more from a personal level than it was, I think. But for me, just like I said, his vision, and then not just his vision, his actions, and then his belief, and then he's willing it into existence, and then he gets thousands of people to follow him. I never met anyone like him in my life, and then how much he just cares about people and genuinely cares. And I think that was our secret sauce. Like people always ask me, it's caring. It's caring about you guys. It's caring about each other, our team members, and it all starts with Matt. But yeah, that crazy, man, crazy. You said like, are you kidding me? We were 270. Like, okay, bro.
To number one.
And now here we are. Now I'm on a podcast. Right?
So at that point, Anthony,
America.
Yeah, right. To realize, like, man, we're doing it. Like, it's happening. At what point?
Yeah.
What was the turning point?
I think that second time when we broke into that top 20, and we knew, like internally, we knew we have a better process. We knew we were faster. Even if our pricing wasn't, top of the country and top of Loan Sifter, we knew we had all these intangibles, and I also knew how hard we worked. I knew we outworked any AE in America, any sales team in America, any lender in America. I knew that with 100% certainty after about that third year of this thing starting to come true. So then it was just a matter of time, right, and just continuing to put in the work. And so, like I said, it wasn't like, oh my God, we had this very special program or the silver bullet. It was just knowing how hard we worked, knowing how much we cared, knowing how much better we were, process, communication, all the things that are important in a transaction. It was just a matter of time. And like I said, it happened a heck of a lot sooner than I thought it would, and pretty cool.
It's never relaxed mentality.
No,
right?
and even today, right? You would think, oh my God, number one lender 2 years in a row, and it's like, no, he is still innovating, he is still pushing, he is still in at 4 a.m., still leaving those voicemails, still getting creative, still trying to think of ways, and whether it be the streamline and IRRRL incentive, and he just comes in one day and says, hey, I was thinking about this. What do you think? And anything to get more loans? Anthony, sales team, we're in, right? So I think it would have been easy for him to take a breath, or he could have sold the company 10 years ago and made millions upon millions, and he's like, no, he's all in. And if this ship ever went down, we're all going down together. I don't think that's going to happen. But it's back to that never relax mentality. It's just not a slogan on a T-shirt. It's what we live and breathe every single day. And it's not easy, man. We're human, right? And
Imagine.
I have days I don't feel like coming in, and I got days I don't feel like getting his voicemails, and oh God, I got to deal with this again. And is it a good one? Is it a bad one? And it's usually like 4:18 in the morning, and you're just first I look at my phone is production numbers from yesterday. Those are pretty good. Okay, now I go look and see if the Phoenix Suns played and if they won. Okay, if they won, it could be a pretty good day. And then you see a voicemail. And but like I said, yeah, we're never going to quit. We're never going to relax. And, me, like I said, I got about 12 to 15 years, and I'm going to give everything I got for the next 12 to 15 to make sure that I try and put the guys and gals that I lead in a position to change their lives, kind of like this place changed my life, because it really has. And not just financially, but just personally, I believe this. I'm a better husband, a better father, a better son. Maybe not a great neighbor. I play loud music by the pool and stuff, but you know what I mean. I think it's easy to focus on financially, but that's a byproduct of the work, and it's a byproduct of the person that I became over the course of the last 25 years. And I had great parents, so I don't mean like that, but it's just a special place here. It's a special place to work. It ain't perfect, and we've got problems and challenges, and we fight like any other family. But you would have to pry me out of here. You get the National Guard to get me out of here, or give me a job in Phoenix, like I said, hitting those elevator buttons. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I play my cards right.
Well, I got to say, you mentioned family and care.
Yep.
We're a boutique shop out of Southern California, and we feel the love. We feel the care. We feel the family atmosphere. To be able to come out here to get better, to bring our whole team out, we are grateful to UW.
We're humbled that you guys come, and we're humbled for the opportunity to serve you, because we do serve you. You don't serve us, and I think that's an important thing. And like I always tell people, and I make some calls throughout my day and thanking people. Like, we're going to continue to work our butts off every single day to earn your business, and we're going to continue to try and innovate and create and do things that are going to make your lives easier, to help you do more loans. And like I said, anytime I get the opportunity to talk to someone, like the thing that changed my life was caring. When I learned to care about somebody else more than myself, whether it be my clients, whether it be my team, whether it be our partners, it is amazing how everything in life that you ever wanted starts to come, right? And it's very unnatural in this industry, and it's very unnatural in sales to kind of have that mindset. But people always ask me, what's the differentiator? I think I mentioned it a little earlier. It's care. Simply care about someone. Show them that you care. Your actions, not just say I care, show them. Show them each and every day. And you might not get it back right away, but I can promise you guys, if I know anything, it's that. Everything in my wildest dreams that I've ever wanted has come true the minute I started caring about someone. This was true as an account executive. It's true in leadership. It's true at home. And like I said, care. And I think you guys are starting to, I know you guys care as well. So, we love you guys.
Well,
we appreciate you having me, and appreciate
course.
the partnership. But like I said, we're going to work our butts off every day to earn it, because we got to earn it every day. Because if we're not great, you go somewhere else. And we got nothing else. Like I said, you're only kid. You're the only kid. So don't run away. Don't run away.
We'll try to be good children, and we're going to let all the rest of our team obviously view this, but hopefully we'll get the world to check it out and say,
Yeah, no, it'd be great.
This is who you should be using.
This is it.
So
Let's give us a shot, right? Give these guys a shot, and let's be great together, and let's dominate. And
Yeah, and thank you for what you do, Anthony, because believe it or not, we always look forward to listening to you in the
We do,
so at our office.
What's he gonna say today?
We watch it.
I don't even know what I'm going to say. I'm sure Matt's wondering, what's this guy going to say today, right?
We tune in every week. The whole office tunes in,
We do.
and then we have our sales meeting after that. But every time when Anthony Frederick goes on, we're like, "Here's Anthony," because
man.
when you say you care, I know you care, because you bring in the fire, you bring passion, and you always share stories about your family, your wife, your mom.
Yeah.
And you talk about the community. Like, you engage the community, you engage everybody. And you can tell that you're really passionate.
Like I said, it's simply, this place changed my life, and like I said, I have a duty to my team, to you guys, to at least try to have some little impact on yours. And if it's in a Wednesday, if it's helping you on a file, if it's calling somebody, like I'll do anything for team and for the family. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. And those aren't easy either, like coming up with something new every week. But I've found a little niche, bringing my family into it, and it's all about telling stories. That's all sales is. And if you really take the stories out of it, and maybe this is a topic one day too, like there's only so many things that you need to do and execute on to be great, and whether it be from an attitude perspective or a sales perspective, it's just how you kind of get that message out to whether it be the team or the brokers. And that's all I try and do on Wednesdays is how do I keep it fun yet impactful? And you'll never know how much I care about you guys, and my team will never know how much I care about them. As you can see, I get a little emotional.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, we are grateful for our account executive, Megan. We love her.
She's
we
great.
Appreciate her
Amazing.
so much. So shout out to you, Megan. Thank you so much for all you do for us. You're amazing. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys,
today.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Tonight,